What's up, you guys? Miko here from thatremotelife.com, and today I'm going to be doing a review of this right here, the 21-liter daily carry backpack by Tortuga. Now, this is the backpack that I've been traveling around the world with for the last 3 years. It has been my daily carry for all of that time. So even when I'm not traveling, if I'm just walking around town, this has been the backpack that I take with me to the coffee shop, to the office, whatever I'm doing. This is the backpack that I take with me. So I'm going to show you guys what I like about this backpack, what I don't like about it, and just give you a general review of it. All right, so the first thing that you should know about this backpack is, and probably the very first thing that you're going to notice, is actually this material. So Tortuga is calling this a sailcloth, a waterproof sailcloth, and the actual name of it is the VX03 waterproof sailcloth. And so it has some noise to it, as you guys can tell, and it definitely has some, it feels a little hard. It's not like a soft material, but what it is very lightweight. So if there is nothing in this backpack, it is very lightweight. I don't know an exact pounds. It's about, I'm looking on the website right here, it's about 1.1 pounds without anything in it. And the other thing this material allows this backpack to do is it's actually very small. It's very minimal. If you guys look at this, when I squeeze it together, it almost takes up no space. In fact, really the only thing that creates width on this backpack are the straps, which are right here, and then this pretty gnarly back panel here, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later. Now, the backpack has two main pockets, which is the one up here in the front, which I will call the quick access pocket. And then the main compartment back here is just one large pocket and then just the one smaller pocket in the front. On the back, like I said, you have two fairly wide straps. Now, the thing that I like about these straps is that they're not very thick, right? If you look at them, they're pretty thin straps. However, they're very wide and they're injection molded. So that means is that even though they're very thin, they are actually able to really spread the weight out quite nicely on your shoulders. And this is seriously some of the most comfortable shoulder straps of any backpack that I've ever tried, despite the fact that they're so thin. I think because they are so wide and this injection molding is quite good, it just does a really nice job of spreading the weight around on your shoulders and on your back. Now, speaking of the back, this is the back panel of the backpack. And if you've ever looked at Tortuga backpacks in the past, this is kind of like their thing, this sort of 3-section backpack panel here. And I will say that it is very comfortable, and the whole idea of this sort of, channel that's going on back here is to create some airflow in your back, because if you've ever carried a backpack around in warm weather, you've probably noticed that it can get pretty sweaty. And what this allows you to do is to essentially get some airflow back there. Now, I'm currently in Mexico and I'm using this backpack every day, and I will tell you, the airflow doesn't help much when it's 85 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Your back is going to sweat no matter what. You are going to get those shoulder strap sweats here, no matter how good the straps are, no matter how breathable they are. But it's better than nothing, okay? I've worn backpacks that don't have this, and my back is definitely fully covered in sweat. As opposed to this, it's a little bit better, so not complaining. Now, moving over to the front of the backpack again, there's really nothing else going on this pack. It's very minimal. The only thing that you will notice on the front here is Tortuga's logo, which they describe as minimal branding. Now, here's the thing. I don't like this logo. Even though it's minimal, and I understand what they mean by that, there's no writing, there's nothing that's too big that says their name or their brand or anything like that, it's kind of 3D. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's this like little gummy thing that sticks out that is their branding, and I just don't like that because it makes it kind of feel cheap. Like, this doesn't feel like something that you would find on a backpack that's basically $100. It sells for $99. So this, to me, Tortuga, if you're listening, I would almost get rid of this, and I'd much rather prefer to just have your name somewhere over here on a little strap or something like that. I think Air, the backpacks from Air, I think they do a good job of this, where it's just their name and they just have like a little tab right here. So I'd rather see that, or if you want to keep this I've seen older generations of Tortuga backpacks where this was green, and that's even worse in my opinion. But maybe just don't make it 3D. Maybe just make it embroidered or something like that so it doesn't stand out as much. On the sides, we do have two sort of stretchy water bottle pockets. You can see I have my water bottle in here in one of them. And then in the other water bottle pocket, I actually like to hold my sunglasses case, which makes it really easy for me to just swing the backpack around to my side when I want to get into my sunglasses and, put on some sunglasses. All right. Now, to finish up talking about the material, I know that Tortuga says that this is a waterproof material. However, in my experience, I wouldn't call it waterproof. I would call it water resistant, because even though the material itself won't let moisture seep through, if you are in a rain shower or something like that, it's not like water's gonna pour in. But in my experience, it does get a bunch of condensation on the inside that will then end up on your stuff. So it will block a majority of the water, but I had this experience where I don't even remember what had happened, but it was really strange because I just saw water piling up on this, and then it was kind of like dripping into my stuff, and it wasn't a ton. It's totally fine if you get caught in the shower outside or something like that, but I wouldn't say it's waterproof. And I think that's because the fabric is so light and so thin that it just can't block everything. But it does a really good job of blocking, let's say, 98% of water situations. And for the most part, like I'm saying, you're not going to be walking around in this thing as it's pouring down rain outside. You're most likely going to get rained on. You're going to pop into the first coffee shop or store or building that you see. So I think this does a great job and is more than water secure. The other thing that helps with that waterproofness or water resistance is actually the YKK zippers here, which do have a waterproof seal of some sort. If you guys look here, there's this like rubber seal on it of some sort that definitely covers up the part of where the zipper is and won't let water just drip in there. Wrapping up talking about the zippers here, I hate the zipper pull. I don't know like what's going on here, but these zipper pulls are probably the thing that I dislike the most about this backpack. It just it's this cheap feeling plastic, and I don't think that it looks very nice. I will say, however, that my friend just purchased a new version of this backpack. Like I said, this one is 3 years old. And one of the very first things that I looked at when I looked at his backpack was, what are the zippers like? And they have changed it. So it looked like they used the type of zipper that is down here, which is a far more normal zipper. And I would take this over this any day. I would still like to maybe have some kind of pull that gives it this, this is nice and easy to open because of this pull, but I just don't think that it looks very nice. It makes it feel cheap. All right, now let's talk about the pockets. This front pocket right here is what I would call your quick access pocket. It is quite large, and you do have some dimension to this pocket. However, one of the things that I think it's lacking is that there's no organization. If you open it up, it's basically just one large pocket. I don't know how well you guys can see that. I'll do it like this. And it's just, it's just one big pocket, which is kind of nice because inside you can put pouches in there. Like I have this here from Topo that kind of holds my hand sanitizer, chapstick, gum, that sort of things. And I do have my AirPod Pros in there. But other than that, there's really nothing else in there. It's just one large pocket. The material inside is lighter, so it makes it easier to see what you have inside of this pocket. What I would love to see in here is actually just a little bit of organization. They do have this key clip here, which in my opinion, I never use these key clips. So it just basically kind of is not getting used ever. However, I'd love to see just a little bit of organization on this side of this pack right here. And it doesn't have to be a ton. I understand that one of the things about this backpack that makes it so attractive is the fact that it's so minimal because it's collapsible. And that's something I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. But I don't think that adding a little bit of organization over here would really ruin that in any way. I think you could easily put one or two sort of stretchy pockets with some definition where I can just kind of slide this in there so that I know this isn't bouncing around and I'm kind of losing track of it, because it does make it a little bit difficult when I'm on the go to sling my backpack forward and then just reach in and know exactly where the thing that I need is, right? That's what's kind of keeping me from calling this like a quick access, is that I end up kind of rummaging around a lot in there because there's no other pockets in here. So if it's not like your laptop and your iPad and a notebook or something like that, it's gonna be going in here. So you end up kind of rummaging through a whole bunch of little things. And I think having a little bit of organization would help. Like I said, maybe 1 or 2 of those like little stretchy pockets like I've seen on some of the other Tortuga backpacks. Maybe a pen loop or 2 would also help, because I like to carry pens sometimes. That might be nice for me to like slide in there. And that's it. That's all I have to say about this pocket. That's really the only thing keeping this pocket from being awesome. Now let's move forward to the main compartment here. I'm gonna open it up. It doesn't open all the way down to the point where I'd call it like a clamshell. It opens up like a regular backpack. And on the back here, you do have 2 of these laptop and iPad compartments. So here in the front, I have my 9.7 inch MacBook Pro that I'm just gonna put right here. And at the very back, you have a laptop compartment that will fit a 16 inch MacBook pretty easily. I have my 13 inch right here. That fits absolutely no problem, with plenty of room to spare. And then in the front, you do have an iPad compartment. Now, here is my problem with both of these compartments. Number 1, the laptop compartment actually goes all the way down to the bottom. So it's not lifted up off the back in any way, or at least not in any meaningful, no, it does. It goes straight down to the bottom. I would love to see this raised up a little bit in order to give your computer a little bit of protection. Now, I always carry my laptop in a sleeve, so that's what gives me protection. But if you were to just slide your laptop into this compartment with no other sleeve or something like that, it's essentially going to be your laptop hitting the bottom with basically just this tiny material, which is super lightweight and it's not gonna offer any protection. The iPad sleeve up here in the front is definitely lifted up off the ground quite a bit, so it is protected. But actually, I do have a problem with this because my 9.7 inch MacBook barely fits in there. So if you have an 11 inch or 12 inch iPad, I keep saying MacBook. If you have an 11 inch or 12 inch iPad Pro or anything like that, I don't think that will fit in there because I don't think this fits lengthwise like this. Oh, I guess it does. So it does fit in lengthwise like this, but if you had an 11 inch, I don't think it would. And I like to keep this one in here vertically, like so. And as you guys can see, it's already sticking up. See that? So if you had a slightly bigger iPad, you wouldn't be able to keep it in there, and you'd have to kind of stick this one in here along with your MacBook, which I guess is fine, but then what's the point of having this at all? I do like how big this one big main pocket is because you can stick a lot of stuff in here. So at the very bottom, I do have my tech pouch, which is just the Topo Designs mini pouch in here that just carries I have my charger and some cables, and it usually carries the dongle, which I'm using right now for the microphone, so it's not in there. But that goes in the very bottom in here. And the one thing that I do want to point out to you guys, and you probably won't be able to see this because it's just so small, but this backpack, like I said, I've been using for 3 years, and it's held up incredibly well. There's almost no damage on it in any way. It's a little bit dirty here in the front, but down here at the very, very bottom, there is one tiny little rip that I don't even know if you guys could see. I don't know if you're able to see it or not, but it's a tiny little rip that I don't think I would have noticed had I not looked at it once from up here and the light actually shone through the bottom. And so it makes sense. You know, this is essentially the part of the backpack that's hitting the ground all the time, so it makes sense that that is where it would get some damage. And because it is so light, I could have easily snagged it on something or, I don't know, anything like that and caused that little rip. Now, that doesn't bother me at all because it really is just a tiny, tiny little rip. So, yeah, just thought to let you guys know about that. Doesn't bother me, but that is the only damage that I have on this backpack. Now, with the 21 liter size of this backpack, it does make it really nice because one of the things that I've done with it before is I've actually used it for small trips. So last weekend, Sarah, my wife, and I went up to a small town here on the coast, on the west coast of Mexico, called Sayulita, and we did a little surf trip. And actually, this is all I brought. I just brought my iPad because I wasn't really planning on doing any work, and then I stuck one medium-sized stuffed cube in here with clothes, and that had all my clothes, and that was great. It worked perfectly for that. So you can definitely fit a stuffed cube or a packing cube in here if you're not bringing a whole bunch of tech stuff with you. So because of that, I love how big this main compartment is. You can just kind of like stick a whole bunch of things in there and you're good to go. But the backpack in itself isn't so big that it's a problem for daily carry. I really think that this 21 liter size is perfect because maybe you don't need that all the time. You know, if I'm only bringing my laptop and a few small tech things with me, I don't really need a huge backpack, but it is nice that there is this available space there for you in case, I don't know, you want to take your jacket off and stuff it in there, or like today on my way back from the co-working space, I popped into a store to buy some Topo Chico because Topo Chico is life, and I didn't want to carry it with me, so I just stuck it in here. So I do think that this 21 liter size is really, really great. I wouldn't really recommend it for longer trips, like if I was doing something like a multi-day, like 3-4 day or a week-long trip or anything longer than that. I wouldn't say that this is a good backpack for that type of trip unless you're like a super minimalist and you're just gonna wear the same shirt the entire time or something like that. If you're looking for something that would be better for that, like for that type of journey, for that type of trip, Tortuga do make a laptop bag which is a few like liters bigger. This is a 21 liter, and I believe that their laptop bag is 27 or 28 liters, and it uses this material, so it's still really light, but you can fit a full, packing cube in there and kind of get all the other things that you need for a, short trip, like a week or something like that. But I wouldn't recommend this backpack for that. What this backpack is really, really good for is a long-term trip. So if you are a long-term traveler or you are a digital nomad like myself and you're traveling from place to place to place to place, this backpack is really great because if you want to just use this as a daily carry whenever you get anywhere, if you get everything out of this backpack, so let me just take this out. I'm gonna take my sunglasses out. Because this sailcloth material is so light and these straps are also so thin, this backpack basically just disappears. So if I put it down here on the ground, it takes up almost no room. And so what you can do with this is if you have a large backpack, like a 40 liter carry-on size backpack, and that's all you're bringing, or you have a rolling suitcase or something like that, this can actually just fit into that on the very top of that pack, and then you only have one backpack. So I love this backpack for that. In fact, that is exactly how I plan on traveling with it in the future. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on one of the Tortuga laptop bags, like the ones that I just mentioned. So Tortuga, if you're listening and if you'd like me to review that, definitely hit me up. I'd be interested in checking one of those out. But what I'd love to do this next year in 2021 is I'd like to have a rolling suitcase because I'm traveling with more things now, recording podcasts, recording videos and stuff like that. So I need more. I have more gear to carry. And then I'd like to check that and then just bring one of those laptop bags. And this bag will actually just go into that checked luggage and just kind of go on top. So for whenever I get to my destination, I have my backpack that I'm going to use on a day-to-day basis. But all right, you guys, that's it. I'm going to wrap up this review. This is my review of the Tortuga Outbreaker laptop bag, the 21 liter one. It's really great. I highly recommend it. I tell all my friends about it. So if you're looking for a light, compact, minimal daily carry, don't look further than this one.